Hey everyone, let me know in the chat. Joe, you're an expert on this already. If you can hear me okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say hello as usual. I will call it usual because as Joe can attest, the last stream was a bit of a nightmare in terms of getting all the gear. Range, we finish on... Awesome, glad to hear, Joe. And we finish on pretty much setting up the gear, and then the network connection wasn't too happy. So just wanted to hop on the camera and say hello to everyone. Thank you for stopping by. I'm gonna be doing a little bit of work on the ESP32. Obviously happy to chat. That's the main reason I jump on stream, is to do a little bit of chatting live, and the work is sort of secondary when things die down and I answer all the questions, and I'll do a little bit of work on stream. Hopefully you find that entertaining as well. And yeah, as usual, I'm still trying. My regular webcam is up here to the top right of that little window that you see. I'm trying to get it to work, but if not, I'll just use the laptop webcam. So just wanted to see how everybody was doing. With you, depending on your time zone, that you're having a happy, to the extent of the possibilities, Friday. And yeah, should be fun. Should be any questions. Like I said, I'll fiddle with the little webcam I have up there, answer questions, and do a little bit of work on polishing the code that's running, controlling the ESP32s and the LEDs that you see on screen. Then one more thing I'll do actually is start a Twitch stream from my phone, and that's a code I'm gonna be working on. And that's why I got confused, Philip. You're still around. I've been working on just getting integration with various chat sources. So I started with Twitch. And when I call it integration, I use that term loosely. What I mean by that is just being able to get messages from Twitch or from any chat interface from any person watching the stream, and then using those messages to control hardware that they see on the screen. So I find that a lot of fun. I started doing some controlling some NeoPixels WS2812B LEDs. And I had a lot of fun with it. I posted a video on how you can do it yourself with all the code, etc. Didn't do necessarily all that well, the video on the channel. I don't know if it's because YouTube doesn't put it in front of the audience's faces, or at least on their feeds, because I am mentioning Twitch, etc., etc. But Twitch was just super easy to start with. Their chat integration is pretty straightforward, and then that was a choice. But I'm gonna try to do it for YouTube. I might work on that today. I want to polish the baseline code first, and then why I got confused with your question was because I've also done it for Discord. So figuring out how the authorization process works. And yeah, Philip, it might be, or it might just be, there's so many variables with pleasing the algorithm. The first day for my second to last video, which was, I think it was a good video, if I may say so myself, in the sense that, people are searching a lot for ESP32s. And at the end of the day, I do projects that I enjoy, but this is, part of my business, creating content that people watch, and from time to time, they buy the parts that I use. So that's a big part of my business. So I choose projects where that overlap is fairly large between me having fun and really liking the project and something that's going to be viewed. And if I had won the lottery, I would just do what I find fun, and people don't want to watch it, so be it. But because I'm running a little bit of a business, then I need to just balance those two things out. So the previous video where I was using WebSockets to communicate between two ESP32s, which is something that a lot of the viewers in previous videos have asked for, so I know there's an interest for it. Then that one got about 5,000 views the first day. And it's kind of funny how that works, is you get a bunch of views the first day and then it completely drops off. So for the week following the 5,000 views, I got probably 1,000, right? So 5,000 the first day and almost 1,000 for about a week. And on the Twitch control, and without promoting, like I didn't have to go on Twitter or anything. Like if I get a decent number of views the first day, I'm happy and I won't bug you. Like if you follow me on social media, I won't be on your face like, watch my video. If you see me doing that a little bit, and I still do it very, very infrequently, it means that that video is not doing as hot. And then, you know, I need to just keep sponsors happy, etc. I need to promote it a little bit. So if that bugs you, you know, that's the nature of the business. So what you gonna do? And then so the one that was controlled by Twitch, I think is a great video. I think there's so many Twitch streamers, right, that are trying to do something extra for their viewers. And perhaps, you know, adding a little bit of hardware, if it's not superly complicated, they can be gaming and have just a tiny window where when somebody subscribes, this code doesn't quite allow that yet. I'm gonna get there. Let's say when somebody subscribes, have like a physical set of LEDs or one of those like cocktail lights, just light up and play a little sound. And I know chatbots can do that already, but nothing like a physical device. And anyway, so I thought it'd be a big hit and it wasn't, which is fine. So now I'm trying to do it for YouTube. Like I think if I do it for a YouTube chat controlled, then if the video doesn't get a lot of views, it means that just the topic sucks, as as fun as I find it. But it crosses out one variable, and I don't know. There's so many things, right? If your previous video doesn't do well, maybe the next one doesn't do well either. So anyway, it's only correlation. There's no causation. Nobody's gonna understand. I don't think YouTube even understands it all. When artificial intelligence and machine learning things are involved, people don't fully understand like how those decisions are made. And I know that sounds kind of funny, right? But if you really dive deep into it, you'll realize that at some point you're just like, okay, let's just see the results and tweak them. They know how to tweak them, but they don't know how the results are processed. But we can get into an AI type of discussion a little later. And good timing as ever. If you have doubts about what I'm saying right now, Bleep Track is an expert, and it's on her way to becoming even more of an expert in machine learning. So you can watch her channel, pick up a little bit of German and watch her do, a lot of fun things that may or may not involve machine learning, depending on the topic that she focuses on. But yeah, hey Bleep Track. So perfect timing for giving you a shout out, because he was right on cue. And yeah, so that's more or less what I've been up to. So I want to polish the code first. I want to polish the code first for the, controlling the LEDs and just having the baseline for that chat interface, so that you can go on any chat platform, whether it's Discord, like I was talking about, with Philip's question, whether it's Twitch, which is the one that's working right now, and that's why I'm gonna use my phone to just really quickly start a stream there. Won't be the greatest view because I'm using my main camera for the YouTube stream, and then eventually just like I was saying, pour that over to be control over YouTube, Discord, and Twitch. Those are the three main, chatting platforms that I can think of. If you have any suggestions, by all means, let me know. But what I'm gonna be working today is just the infrastructure, like how to send the messages, how to format the messages that you need for controlling. And in this case, it will be LEDs, but I wanna, if you see on screen, there's a little robot here. So, I'll disclose it on our stream, where I have an idea of having people who jump on a stream feed. This is a little silly robot, and the design was, I'll post it on the description of the video, was done by someone else, and it's a great robot that if you put something on the tray, then it has a little infrared sensor. I was making sure because I use ultrasonic, I use infrared, I use a little camera, but right now this one has an infrared sensor, and it detects when you place an object, and it just does the motion with a couple of servos to like eat it. And it's kind of silly. It's pretty cool. Like I said, if you want to watch a build video, I have it on the channel. But I want to have people jump on stream and feed the robot and have maybe some LEDs to indicate the health bar of the robot. So, you got anybody who is on stream needs to feed the robot at least once an hour, or the health bar becomes smaller and smaller, something like that. So I want to use robots. Again, starting with LEDs is easy, but I love robots. That's what I'm all about. So I want to add some more robots and different hardware to be interactive and be in control with through chat. I feel that's a very good interface for where the internet is at right now, right? Like this live streams, like how to make this interaction between you and I, like instead of you just sitting there watching me doing some, at times, mind-numbing task, then just giving you the possibility of being entertained. Like if you kind of lose track of what I'm saying, or, you can at least do a little game and play with stuff and entertain yourself for a little bit. So that's the goal. So let's see. Yeah, so like Joe is typing, it's a perfect example. I want to make that message, Joe, work via YouTube. Still, that'll be, I don't think I'll get that today. I want to polish the code, but if people go on Twitch, and again, I'm not big on Twitch, but the chat interface, pulling up messages from chat, it was very, very easy. So I'm just starting, I know it's hard to see, but I'm just starting a stream there, and I just need to pick a category. And then I will choose science and technology. The thing is, Twitch, as a lot of you know, was made for gaming. So there's not even a subcategory for actually, yeah, I'll say something a little later, but there isn't a subcategory for electronics. There's one for programming, I believe, but it's all like bunched up together under science and technology. But if you jump, so now you'll have a live view, but one of the cool things about Twitch is that you can use their chat interface offline. So even if the channel was offline right now, you could still control the LEDs, and then you won't be able to see it, right? But you can still send messages. I can receive messages on the ESP32 that you see on screen, and I have a couple of them hooked up to different LED sets. And then it just works, right? Like, whereas with YouTube, there's no way of you contacting me over chat if I'm offline. You can leave a message on the videos, but you cannot contact me directly. So, just different platforms for different purposes, but I like Twitch a lot for their chat interface. So I'm showing you just a live view on screen. Actually, I'm lying. I have it tiny on the corner. I might switch it to the big one, but on the bottom left corner, I'm trying to, and I have, oh, you can hear me on Twitch. Thank you, Babbitt. I'll mute Twitch so that it's not super annoying. All right, thank you, Babbitt, for the feedback. Doing stuff live, it's always quote unquote fun. So it won't be a great view on Twitch, but that's okay. People can just jump on YouTube. And yeah, I have someone that's just on the Twitch, that's doing both streams, and it's like, hey, why is there echo? So now we know. But the reason I started the Twitch stream, you can still control the hardware on Twitch and then see the results on YouTube. But if you just want to have one stream, you still need YouTube because I silence me on Twitch. You can, you'll need YouTube to actually hear me speak. But anyway, just as a preamble of what I'm gonna be working on. So say if I copy Joe's message for the 15 LED, 15 or the 16th LED to be completely red. And I guess, yeah, Joe knows how it works, right? You were explaining it to Philip. So yeah, for Philip, this is the demo, right? If I type on the Twitch chat interface, if I just paste that same message, and it'll be hard to see on the bottom left screen, but if you look at it on the main screen that is streaming on YouTube right now, then that last LED at the very top should turn red after a short bit. Kind of always demos mess up. Oh, there we go. And again, there might be a little bit of a delay going to you. I'm using WebSocket, so when the change actually happens on the back end, like when the LED actually, when the message from the chat gets, passed to the server on the Twitch end, then that's automatic, meaning, WebSockets are as close to real-time control as you can get using a, network interface. There's, I mean, you can do things even quicker than that, but for package stuff, and I'll be very hand wavy about this, WebSockets, that's as close to real time to between sending a message and receiving it as you can get. So, once the actual changes happen on the back end of things, on the server side of things, then I'll get it to actually display on the LED, but that takes some time, between going from here, from the chat to the Twitch servers, etc., for that whole thing to take place. So it's not quite in real time, and then you have to add the delay between it changing here and you seeing it on the stream, although that should be the same because you also see with a delay when I typed in the message on screen. So that's what it is, and the messages, and I think that's you, Joe jumping on stream to also give me a hand with controlling the LED. So feel free to jump on and play around with some LEDs. You can also do it for the matrix that you see to the left of the little robot. The robot is inactive. That's a future addition to, and I'm gonna turn on a couple of lights. But the robot, it'll be a later addition to the hardware we can actually control. But in the meantime, feel free to turn on and off LEDs, ask me questions, and you can see the work that I'm gonna be doing. I'll switch screens at some point. If you're more interested in the code, let me know. If you're more interested in seeing the LEDs, let me know. And I'll swap what's big. And then if you wanna see more, I'll probably just shut off the little screen with my camera, etc. So fun stuff. And yeah, hi Ganesh. Sorry I missed your message. Thanks for stopping by the stream. Hopefully today we don't get any hiccups like we had last time. So alrighty, let's do a little bit of work. And yeah, Bleep Track, those googly eyes, they really add character to the little trash eating robot. And obviously the code that I'm gonna be using and modifying, at least the piece that is actually working and is fairly straightforward, is already posted on GitHub. The link is in the description of the video. If you don't wanna go there, let me know. I'll post the link to the actual GitHub repository on the chat. But it is there. Then, so one cool thing, and let me switch screens for a little bit. So if I do just the main screen to be a little bit bigger, and again, we'll figure this out so that it can you can actually see the whole thing without being annoyed. I want to just have the 2 screens plus the webcam going on right now, and I know the webcam died because I haven't quite figured out what's going on with my GoPro. I turned it on just now, so webcam will go dark for a few seconds, should be back on. But yeah, I can shut off both the webcam and the little secondary camera to the left, so that you can, like, if you're interested in really looking at what I'm typing on screen, then that'll make our collective lives a little bit easier. So this is the code for the ESP32 attached to the matrix. And one cool thing is that if, you know, I have the messages being printed out to the serial monitor, so, you know, I can see exactly the message that people type and do any debugging that's needed right on the fly. Gotta make sure that it's actually working, but as far as I can tell, I haven't plugged in anything, haven't unplugged anything, so yeah. Yeah, somebody is telling me on Twitch, let me move the window a little bit to the left, why is there no matrix to play with? And I'm gonna tell them that there is a matrix to play with, but the view is hooked up to the YouTube stream. So using the view that displays it for a YouTube stream. And then I will copy the link and say you can still use the Twitch chat for controlling it. All right. And I'm kind of, well, I'm not necessarily lying, but there'll be, because I know, you know, Vamps, the Vampire, and a few others have been really every day just displaying really cool patterns on the matrix. So I know there's a couple of users who are regular to jumping on Twitch, and because after I'm done with YouTube, with a YouTube stream, I'll give that camera back to Twitch, and I'll give it back with air quotes to the Twitch stream. And anytime, even if I'm not streaming, actively streaming in front of the camera, people can go and display their patterns on the LEDs. So it's not great for my electricity bill, but as long as people are enjoying playing with some internet strangers' LEDs on their workbench, it makes me happy. So, all right. Going back to this. Then, yeah, I get confused. I have a camera here, and I'm using this one for now. Hey, Prayer Son, thank you for stopping by the stream all the way from India. Welcome. Let's see. Gotta remind myself where I was at with all of this. So I think for the matrix, right, and I should, before I delve into see if the matrix is actually working. And I'll do it from off. Oh, do I need to be off screen? No. Pull my Twitch and see if I can get it on view. I don't know if you've seen it. I'm playing around for the Twitch stream with this little stand, which is not particularly. I have the camera on a tripod, and that's a lot more useful for getting different views, but this one is just a little bit tough. That kind of, see, it doesn't fall down. That one kind of works. Yeah, somebody turned on an LED, so I know it's working on the matrix. Let's see. Also pretty visible from my workbench camera, kind of. I guess the last one at the bottom is a little bit occluded. And then let's see it. Yeah, thank you, Joe, for helping me out with the matrix. And that seems to be working fine. If I switch back once again to my main camera, go back to the Arduino IDE. This is fun stuff. Being a director and trying to coordinate all the different views. I can see a couple. We get, hey Edrich, I don't know if you're on YouTube as well, but Edrich is the groundskeeper, so to speak, for the Twitch, the whole Twitch experience. He's been helping me with the code as well, so thank you, Edrich. I don't know if you're listening to the YouTube stream, but I'll type it out on Twitch as well. But I just wanted to say that this is, I think, Joe's message. So, you know, his username, their username on Twitch is Stray77. So put down this message and it gets processed by the code running on the ESP32, whose serial monitor I have open. So there are two of them. I don't mess with the one with the vertical bar of LEDs. I only mess with the one for the matrix. So if anybody's feeling inspired to, you know, start drawing something on the matrix, please don't, because I'm gonna be uploading some code and probably messing up your pattern in the process. My reaction was due to the fact that my camera stand fell for Twitch. So, fun technical difficulties to work out. Needs a little bit of counterbalance. All right, there we go. Oh yeah, Joe, I'm using Streamlabs OBS, and I should, yeah. I'm too lazy to set up the deck itself, and I've been impressed because I was gonna buy like the Elgato one or whatever, which was a little bit expensive for just like 16 buttons, like a 4x4 or 5x4 matrix of buttons. It's like I can build that, and I don't need to spend over $100 on some silly thing. I can just use an ESP32 and have that interface with a Streamlabs or Streamlabs OBS or OBS API. But that's gonna take me a while. It's not realistic, so whatever, I'll buy it. But then using an iPad or an iPhone, you can just use their app and it works fairly well. I'm too lazy sometimes to set it up, so I just like point and click on the streaming software, which again, I use Streamlabs OBS interface. So it's just a couple of clicks and I have all my scenes set up differently. So it kind of works. I mean, I need to be better because there are some features like when I'm streaming on Twitch, you know, I have a little bar for, hey, this is the help, this is how to get a help message and stuff. But yeah, little by little polishing up the streaming work, but so far so good. So luckily I don't have to turn too many things on and off by hand. But yeah, having the Stream Deck is pretty helpful. I wasn't a believer, then I used the iPad version. I was like, oh yeah, this makes life easy. But clicking on the monitor, you know, on the interface that I have up here, is not terrible. So that's what I'm doing for now. Alrighty, so for the matrix, I don't know if you all saw, we need an X and Y position coordinate for the pixel that we want to pick. So I wanted to make the code a little more consistent across devices. Thing is that I'm going to I'm gonna have a few others, but they're either arranged as a single column. Even, you know, I have like a set of rings that I'm gonna hook up, hopefully. And I was thinking, just to keep the messages consistent, to have an XY for position for every device. That way it's the same message for all of them. And then just ignoring the X coordinate for things that are just a single column. Yeah, I was going back and forth between that, but I think I'm just gonna keep that as is and move on. So the next thing I wanted to do was start working on animations. And I saw somebody earlier today draw a very nice, one of the aliens from an old school arcade game, like Space Invaders, like that little alien pixelated, and it was pretty cool. And they were asking, hey, can I animate this? Or can I make it move? I was like, you can, you know, you have to draw each pixel by hand. So having some form of animations will be interesting. So I think the only one I have implemented right now, and again, I'm reminding myself of a lot of things. If I do a matrix message, and the formatting is a little bit annoying, but I'm using JSON, the JSON library, to do, you know, string validation. Like I just parse a string and determine if it's a valid JSON string that checks for a whole bunch of things. And I don't have to worry about certain edge cases, like, you know, it's a keyword right, etc., etc. So but the downside to that is that you need to write a JSON formatted string to do simple things instead of, you know, people who go on Twitch and they want to interact with a bot, with a chat bot, then they use the exclamation point and then just start typing out whatever command they want. And I think a lot of people are used to that format. So it's a little bit clunky to have to type the curly braces, put stuff in double quotes. But again, you know, people who jump on the stream are going to be, I think, savvy enough to be able to do that without a problem and not be annoyed by it. Like, everybody can do it. I'm just thinking if people are going to be annoyed or not. But at some point I might change the formatting of the messages. And that's going to be a pain if I need to rewrite a whole bunch of things or add a whole bunch. I'll just add it on top. You can do it via JSON formatted string or, you know, regular formatted string. But anyway, so I'll do matrix. And what was it? Yeah, I was, you know, where I sort of stopped developing last was on the formatting for animation messages. I think what I did is just tell whatever device you want to use. Let me, you know, instead of hiding myself, I'll make the window a little bit narrower. So if I say matrix and rainbow, then I think that's how it's supposed to work, but I don't think it is. I need to remind myself of of a few things. Actually, the message wasn't even received. What is up? But somebody made the matrix work before. I think it was Joe, so I know it is working. I don't want to reset it unnecessarily, but matrix did receive a message. Let's try that one. I'm just probably formatting the message a little bit differently, and then got another participant in the fun stuff for the code. MT Simmer, thank you for stopping by Twitch. Let's see. So let's do whatever 5.1. It's a message. Hopefully something gets turned on. Oh, okay. So I do see the message eventually came in, the matrix rainbow. It just took a really long time. It's kind of funny because the one that's processing the code for the LEDs works almost instantaneously. For the when I say LEDs, that's the name of the device, right? I called it LED for the single column one. The one for the matrix seems to take a really long time. And the rainbow code did not work. What is up with my rainbow code? Nice, that's the one, Joe, that I was talking about. The little alien from Space Invaders. The Matrix, you mean that it stopped responding? Or both of them? I think I saw someone on Twitch just turn all of them on to white. So full brightness on all colors. So yeah. I see some more LEDs turn on, so it seems to be working. The wonders of absolutely live coding, because you get to see the results right away. And how? Yeah, I'll try an individual pixel, and then take it from there. So let's do whatever. The last pick, the opposite corner. Turn it to blue. See if I receive that message. Hey Dustin, thank you for stopping by, and yeah, no pressure on staying, and I always appreciate, even if it's just a quick hello, for stopping by. Good to see you, and hope everything is going well. We're having a little bit of fun with, once again, the chat control LEDs, a little bit of debugging, a little bit of coding, and a lot of fun, at least on my end. But yeah, I'm gonna reset the board for that's controlling the matrix. I don't know what's going on, so just going to take away one variable that is not connected or something of the sort. There we go. It's connected to my Wi-Fi. And let's give another message a try. So what you see on screen is that it was successfully connected to the Twitch channel, and now it should be listening for messages that are being sent. So I might have a typo or a case of bad formatting. So hey Adam, I do not know what you're missing. So, and I think Joe was saying that the strip as well. And yeah, just live. This is a session of both live coding and live debugging. It should be working. And again, I leave that stream running for literally days on end. And any time that I do not touch it, it works flawlessly. But when I start messing with it, things, and you know, it's usually like you reboot it and it works. So we'll figure it out. Sorry to hear that, Adam. Maybe you do, yeah, meaning to be logged in. I thought maybe you don't have to be logged in, but I think yeah, to actually, you can go to a channel without being logged in, but to chat, I think you actually need to be logged in. So, but we're just, again, as I was telling our friend Dustin, we're just having fun with the Twitch chat controlled LEDs, and I'm just want to polish the code a little more. And as I was starting that, then things were not going as planned. I think there's just a big delay, because now I see this, you know, this message finally came through on my end, the one that I'm highlighting, and I know I need to remember to work within the little bounds that I said with the different cameras I have on screen. Well, if at some point I forget to do that, by all means call me out on it. Hey, I can't see the code. And this is a beautiful bug that we have to deal with. At any time I take the Arduino IDE off of my main monitor, my main laptop monitor, to one of the two secondary displays that I have, the IDE just crashes, and I'm on 1.8.12, so it's the latest one. And I don't think it's a Mac OS 10 kind of deal, but it is great free software and open source, I think, for the most part. So not a huge complaint. Just an observation. So even if I wanted to have the IDE off of screen at some points, I won't be able to, because otherwise it crashes. So just gonna minimize the window. Yeah, the Arduino Pro, I've been meaning to do that, Joe, see how that goes, even for my own like purposes, but also to just do a quick video. Hey, this is how you program with the Arduino Pro beta. But yeah, it's on. As you'll hear this over and over and over again on my streams, it's on my to-do list. Have you used it? Let me know what you think so far. Yeah, Bleep Track, we're trying to sort out why isn't it working, but it's that little JSON formatted string that a lot of people are trying to post, and they don't seem to be doing much or taking a little bit of time to actually do something. But Joe is giving you the full explanation for how to do it. So yeah, if you copy paste that message, should be good to go. And I'll have on screen the serial monitor if you want to see, you know, how it gets read onto the Arduino IDE, and I'll try not to pop the window out of the display. But yeah. What the heck? All right. I had a, on the last stream that maybe a couple of you were here with me. We got a little animation working, so kind of annoyed that that isn't working right now. I'm sure it's working, I just can't figure out how to get it going. So if I send a message, let's see. Pixel string is so yeah, I think I don't need to format it as a JSON string. I was extremely lazy. It was I wouldn't say extremely late, but I think I had been streaming for over 2 hours and I just wanted to wrap it up and finish on a high note. So I think I did it very lazily, and I think it's just Rainbow Joe, like that. Maybe. Nope. Right, because it seems to follow the same formatting as when I do help, but I think just my I think I know what's going on. It takes a long time. I got your message on screen right now. Bleed track and this is what I was chatting about before, that it just takes a little bit of formatting and that can get annoying, but the only things missing on the last input, at least that I see on screen, is a colon between the LED. I see. So so right now I got the message I sent to the matrix, which it wasn't happy about. I need to sort that out. But for you, bleep track, there's a colon missing, and then there's another set of double quotes between all the numbers, like at the beginning of all the numbers and at the end of it. But pretty close, and sorry that it's a a bit of an annoying way of formatting messages. So I'll paste it on YouTube. Yeah, no worries. It's on. It's totally on me, and it seemed like a good idea. I knew it wasn't a good idea at the time, so I'm not gonna lie. But this is me being lazy and what's even worse, like if you wanted to copy that message from YouTube to Twitch, like the double quotes are different and it's a whole mess. So yeah, it takes real effort to get the damn LEDs to light up. But yeah, if you add a little colon and then put all the numbers between double quotes, it should work. And then, hey Carlos, I am on Twitch as of 2 weeks ago when I posted the video. I think I might have been on Twitch a little bit longer than that, but started like actively using Twitch since my last video, a little bit before, because all these fun things that we're doing to control LEDs are being done over Twitch chat, as you can see on screen. And yeah, one more, I'll do another LED, but if we add double quotes, and that's not right. If we do double quotes around the actual numbers, then that hopefully should be good. But yes, we got the little rainbow animation working on the matrix. And yeah, it's just those guys, and I realized what's going on. The ESP32s, as a lot of you know, cannot handle 5G, and because a lot of folks are working from home, the 2.4 gigahertz networks in general, particularly if you're living, like, we don't live necessarily around that many people, but we are in an apartment complex, so, or in a set of townhouses. So I think just the different channels on 2.4 get completely slammed. So with the ESP32s, I have no option. But as soon as I jump on 5G, it's the same internet service provider. But as soon as I jump on 5G on things that are capable of doing 5G, like a Raspberry Pi, my laptop, etc., then those delays, and say if I was streaming on the 2.4G, I wouldn't be able to stream at all. So yeah, but with the ESP32s, I have no option. So if you just send a message and patiently wait it out, it'll eventually get in. So say, yeah, like that last one, bleed track that you sent. And yeah, I think that's you already got maybe more than one, but the second LED being magenta, that's courtesy of your commands, which is awesome. That's usually my test color, so I get a lot of similarities between the ways we think, whether it's our favorite Disney songs or our favorite colors, but I always send magenta to my LEDs for testing. And then yeah, Dustin, he's pretty, he's clever for many reasons, but I seen Dustin jump on the Twitch chat, and what they did is put the flag of their country up using, it's 16 LEDs totals. They use 15 LEDs, and it's horizontal stripes. So they use 5 LEDs for each one of the 3 colors, and as the username tells you, it ended up being the Netherlands flag, so which was pretty awesome. I should have had the Argentina flag, and I think you can actually do it, right? Like the middle LED of the 5 in the middle, right? Because it has a little sun in the middle of the flag. So that LED can be yellow. So it could be a perfect tell for the Argentine flag. So I'm going to copy Dustin at some point and put up my flag there. But yeah, Joe, I think for the rainbow one, I got it to work with still formatting it as JSON. Let me see. Now I forgot. But I thought it was matrix and rainbow instead of rainbow, but we can just consult the serial monitor and see what actually works. So fun interactive stuff, right? Imagine if we were doing this with moving around a robot. That'd be super fun. For that, I'm gonna use a Raspberry Pi no way around it, because it'd be super annoying to do it on 2.4 gigahertz, at least while I'm on in this place. I'm actually hoping to move this summer, and that'll be a bit of a nightmare, but hopefully I can free up my 2.4 gigahertz network as well to do more fun stuff with the ESP32s and other devices that are limited to that band range. And then let's see. Oh yeah, and then you're absolutely right, Dustin. Even I can use the white to be a little bit broader and just use the middle one, even though it won't be like perfectly symmetric, right? I can let my mild OCD rest, and then at least I guess whatever. It's probably misuse of the word OCD, but my being so anal, it's like, oh, it gotta be symmetric 555, but then you leave that last LED off, and it's like, so yeah, it's a either way, and I think probably your way, it's a lot. The way you're suggesting is a lot better. And so the maple leaf, oh yeah, isn't pixel friendly. You can, that's what Dustin is saying, right? Like you can do it on the matrix, and or I can have a different set of single, a single strip of LEDs just horizontally, and then that might work for some people. It's all good, Dustin. It was, I mean, even if it was by accident, it was a good idea that I would have never thought about. Because that one in the middle, it doesn't count. But all right, so half an hour later, a little bit sarcastically, but a little bit not, I get my message of rainbow. So yeah, it's not just exclamation point rainbow. I consider doing that because that's how a lot of Twitch bots BOT work. So the way to do it is there I was going to type it on YouTube, so I need to get that working. So if I do matrix colon then rainbow, that's how we get the animation. And again, it won't change anything because it's not animating. I call it an animation, but it's just a set of LEDs right now with a rainbow pattern linearly, so it's not even like 8 LEDs and one gradient color 8888. But if for folks who want to manipulate the matrix, that's the only quote-unquote animation that I have going. And the other one, like if you want to just turn on and off pixels, you just, different than the LEDs, you need a second one, and I need to add this information to the help message. But it'll be XY, so let's do top left corner, I believe. Let's turn it off, so it'll be red, green, blue, all of 0. And then if we do that and patiently wait for yet another half hour, then you can control LEDs individually that way. So, I mean, we'll see the message pop up here on the serial monitor when it actually takes place. But, well, I guess that's a previous one. I see an LED turn off that is not 00, so yeah, it's just not totally fun, but it is what it is. It's what we gotta live with. So so yeah, got this camera now. You're on camera one DIY in the ghetto. How are you? I thank you. You're doing well. It's pretty early for both you and I to be on stream. So I hope you're doing well, getting ready for your trip this weekend. One DIY in the ghetto. And then yeah, Carlos, it's a bot, but so it's a bot, B-O-T, that we build ourselves. So I did it for my last video where I program an ESP32 to connect to Twitch and receive the messages. And depending on what message it receives, it either ignores it or it does something. And that something was to control some LEDs. So it is how, that's how Nightbot and all the other like popular bots that people use for Twitch streaming. That's the principles. That's the very basics on how they work. They listen to the messages right on the chat, and then they perform actions by using the API. My actions are not going back to Twitch. Well, some of them are, but most of them are, on what you see on the screen, right? They're controlling the LEDs that you see on screen. Whereas Nightbot and all of those, usually the interaction happens back to Twitch. The one thing that it's going back to Twitch, and that's what I was showing off before, and it's sending back when I do a help message, and I'll pull up, I'll try to switch back and forth between what's running locally on my ESP32s and what's running up on Twitch. So if I type in help, the message gets received here, and I don't know, it'll be kind of interesting. I don't know if both ESP32s will receive it or just one of them. It's WebSockets, so I feel both of them should receive it. But if we don't see it on here and we see a reply on Twitch, it means that it came from the other ESP32. At least that part of the code is the same between the two. So yeah, we should see a reply here. But I was explaining before that it'll take a long time because the ESP32s are connected to a network that during the day doesn't do so well. So we'll have to wait. But to answer your question shortly, yes, we're running bots that we're tinkering and trying to improve. So fun stuff. And then DIY in the ghetto. Your trip got canceled, I see, because of your job got put on hold. Oh, storms? Dang. 2020s. And I'm sure you get storms pretty regularly, that part of the country. But 2020 is something else. And yeah, as you see, I'm still receiving a message from a while ago where I think this was me. Yeah, you can see the username here. And then I sent a message to turn off the first LED. And like I said, a long while later, you see that the LED actually turned off. So the code is working. What's a little bit annoying is the amount of time that it actually takes. Let's see. I'm gonna mess around with my settings a little bit because I was doing some work with a couple of Raspberry Pis, and it was interesting. If you have it on channel 1, your 2.4 gigahertz network, depending on what you're doing with the Pi, it doesn't work. So I think I manually moved it to 2, and that created a little bit of problems. But yeah, I remember switching it back to 11 or something of the sort. Let's try to do auto, see if that improves it. I mean, thing is, I'm not gonna, should I mess with it? Because if I apply it, I'm worried that my 5 gigahertz network is gonna get reset as well. Just I don't trust routers in general. So I don't want to kill the stream because that's the problems we were having a couple of nights ago. So let me leave it at this and then apply it later. And that way, if I kill the stream, at least I get a good round in. So let this guy open. Alright. So I'm gonna start working. I wanted to add some cool animations that can be controlled by simple commands like that matrix rainbow. Yeah. I wanna, yeah. So many things that need to be done, and yeah. What should I? It's always a question. Is like, what should I try to work on first? I think I'll work on the animation. Screw it. See it display something cool. And yeah. And now I'll look at the examples for the fast LED library to do that. They have some cool examples, and again, I'll do some of the standard ones and try to make one of my own. Maybe we can try to animate some flags or something like that, but I want to get a few of the basic ones in. Just to not reinvent the wheel too much. Yeah, no, thanks, DIY Negero. I was just hesitant to not kill my 5 gigahertz as well. So yeah, no, I believe it should be okay. Yes, again, the first principle that we, you and I and all DIYers follow is like, don't mess with a working system. It's working okay. It was such a pain in the rear end to get it going last time that I don't want to mess with it too much. But in a little while, I'm sure I'll mess with it. Same, my webcam up here is not working, even though it should be. Like, it's telling me that it is, just by the little display indicator that it has, and that's driving me even more crazy. So, but the show must go on, even if it's under slightly subpar conditions. So I have the webcam on my laptop going on because, yeah, I'm gonna, and as I say this, obviously I'm tinkering around, that's why I'm looking up to this screen, because I can't help myself but to just try to pull it back on. I mean, it's just one of those things that it should be working. But I just get a completely black screen. Yeah. All right. This webcam it is. Let's look at some fast LED examples for cool animations we can do. I don't know if people have tried any of these. I never get a chance to play it with code, so that's why I'm loving streaming, actually, because I can work on, usually my YouTube videos are very introductory and they need to get done within a certain time frame. And as soon as I discover streaming, it's like, hey, I can let myself tinker around and get to know things a little bit more in depth. Like, I've used the fast LED library a gazillion times, but it's usually for a specific purpose, and I'll write the code and use it in a very specific way. So now I can see, what kind of stuff is actually included with the library. So, and I know, try not to mess with the single row LED, but I'm tempted. I'll leave that for later because, little silent animation should be cool to display there. But let me try one on the LED matrix first. And I don't know, this, a lot of them seem catered to strip of LEDs. So I don't know which one will look great on a matrix arrangement. Maybe this Fire 2012. See what this one is about. And I'll just try it first instead of, you know, having to deal with the delays, etc., etc. But I think actually this one should work. It looks pretty straightforward. It's just some of their example scripts have like the 20,000 chipsets that they work with, and it's always a pain to choose the right one. But I think my color order for the WS2812Bs, I have, yeah, there's regular ones and some of the matrices for these. I think all of them are GRB. I think it's pin 19. Yeah, let's give this a try. See how it does. And then you should see it on the bottom left of your screen. If and when it actually changes. Big if. And then, hey Jones, how are you? Oh, please, by all means, do not apologize to me. I'm just super thankful you showed up and just are saying hello. Thank you for stopping by. Let this be the last time you apologize. I'm kidding. Thank you. Thanks for just coming in and saying hello, and we're working on having a little bit of fun with controlling the LEDs that you see on the bottom left corner of your screen. And right now I'm just uploading some test code to the LEDs. So I want to add some animations that hopefully you and others can control from a chat interface. So eventually they'll be from YouTube. Right now I'm just using Twitch because it's a little bit easier. Alright, that kind of looks like fire. And then forgot to change the number of LEDs. So let's see how that looks. Yeah, Dustin, you're absolutely right. I only worried about the number of, you know, the chipset and the pin, but should have done the LEDs as well. Second take. So I mean, it's not the most exciting fire, but it's kind of okay. And I think it was formatted for an actual matrix, maybe. Just I see a lot of like bilateral symmetry. And instead of looking at it live, I can look at it on screen. And it's a kind of animation, right, that is suited for putting a diffuser in front of it and not getting the pixel by pixel resolution. So once you have a diffuser, probably the little flicker does look like a flame. But yeah, not terribly excited about it. Let's see, how does it look on screen? Workbench. I mean, so for one, I see. I think it's because it's inverted. And yeah, because it'd be kind of weird to have a fire that turns off at the bottom. So I wonder without much fuss. I can just, I want to keep the 0, 0 on the top left. So, alright, cool down every cell a little, heat from each cell drifts up. And new sparks of heat near the bottom. And then, yeah, so then for the bottom, they mean this. So I guess if I do number of LEDs minus that, should give me the top. And without much problem. Yeah, they start counting at 0. Map from heat cells to LED colors. There is a variable there for like get reverse. Oh, okay. Maybe if I do get reverse direction, it should work. Although this one seems that it's only used in one place, so I think they were planning for it maybe, but but I think they're only doing it for one piece of it. So here, right there, okay. So every cell, yeah, we want to do this for all of them. Doesn't matter if it starts from 0 or not, this is random. And then we need to change step 2, heat from each cell drifts up. So this one we do need to change. And I already, yeah. Alright. Just gonna comment this out instead of, yeah, that one needs to be the whole thing. And yeah, just as a reminder how the original code looks like, because I can look at it once I break it. It's like, oh, how did it actually go? Why does it look like just a complete set of 64 LEDs being turned on and off? Red. Those are my expectations. Alright, so we need to change step 2 as well, like I said. But yeah, fire animation seems like a cool one to have. And then on the command line will obviously be fire. And I'm gonna test it here and then port it over to our Twitch chat stream. And again, just me procrastinating into actually looking at the YouTube integration. I have it working somewhat on a different computer. Just like, shouldn't be that freaking hard to get an authorization token. It's super easy to, and then yeah, you just pass that to the API and that should be it. I mean, if I'm doing this for a production environment and have to handle a bunch of security measures, then fine, but there should be, that's why I started with Twitch, because if I want to do this just for fun and I don't want to spend 2 hours in figuring out how to do authentication and stuff like that, there should be a path to that. It's not the case on YouTube with YouTube. And the API is like not straightforwardly documented. It's come a long way, but still. All right. So All right, so we do this from the bottom up. So from k equals 0 to the second to last LED up top. So less or equal than number of LEDs plus and minus 1. And then we just increase by 1. And let's see. I have no idea what heat is. Is that the name of the array? No. Yeah, well, it is what they called just the color array. But let me see. But yeah, it's a funny discussion, the one with sorting out where the indexing starts, and I know I say softwares like MATLAB get a lot of hate just because of that. Like, you can hate a lot of things about MATLAB, but it's like, really, the matrix laboratory, right? That's what it stands for. And they can't even index their matrices and arrays by 0. So had to deal with that during grad school. It's like, there are bigger things that you can worry about. Man, the place I went to grad school is the kind of thing that you would hear this at length conversation over lunch, and I was like, dude, talk about something else. I was never part of those groups, but just like hearing that in the background, it was interesting. But yeah, as Dustin points out, 20 milliamps per LED. So this thing, to be fully like lit, take up a whole bunch of current, but they don't have to. And that's what I try to explain to people. It's like, oh, you're using a separate power supply for running that. It's like, no, you can just pull it off of USB. It's like, yeah, but USB is limited to blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's not blah, blah. It's actually like 350 milliamps. You can hack it to be 50 or 500, etc. So, I think I know what I'm talking about. But, whatever current you're supplying, it's just going to get it's not the greatest thing, and I don't encourage people to do this. But if you cannot supply enough current to any device, with some exceptions, it'll just pull that amount of current and use it to the best of its capacity, particularly LEDs, right, that are not active components, meaning it's nothing like a motor. If you try to turn on a motor and that thing starts going, it might be able to break your power supply. But for things like LEDs, they'll take as much current as you can source them. And for the most part, again, it's not something I'd recommend you doing, because you're bound to break something, and so am I. It'll just take as much current as it possibly can, and it just won't be as bright as it possibly can be. So, but for, I'm running 16 plus 64, which is 80 LEDs, just from it's USB-C, so I haven't read my specs on USB-C, so maybe a little bit more for a MacBook Pro, how much current it can source. But still, it's things are not blowing up yet. Famous last words, right? Because as soon as I'm done with this sentence, it'll go like poof. But so they're not as bright as they can be. Plus, I'm limiting the amount of brightness by code, just so that they can be nicely displayed on camera. And, that still pulls all of the current just in a PWM kind of fashion. So it doesn't, there's no way of telling the LEDs, be this bright. You just cycle it on and off. like we all know PWM, right? Like you provide a duty cycle that is less than 100%, and that's how you control the brightness. But when it's on, it's completely on, and it's drawing all of your current from your power supply. But meaning that those suckers, those LEDs, right now I have it at something around 10% duty cycle, so brightness of 24. Maybe not right now, the matrix, because I didn't even worry about the brightness on that one. And I don't know exactly how this code runs behind the scenes, but for the one on this 2 sticks of LEDs, that's running, 10% duty cycle, and it's still super bright and underpowered. So those LEDs, and I love them. Want to make an outdoors application and really have the necessary power supplies, plural, to have them fully lit. Because they're pretty damn bright. But for now, just from the USB port is good enough, and I even have to turn them down. But continuing with this, let's see. And then, sorry, Jones, I missed your comment earlier. Thank you for the compliment. No worries about English. Thank you for just sending me a message, and I appreciate, like I said, the compliment. I'm here on the channel. I'm just shooting for people to hopefully find the content useful. Like if hey, it was a crappy video, I just skipped to the end, but I clicked on the code in the description and I was able to use it. Like, as long as people find it useful, that's my goal. If you actually find it entertaining or worth watching, then that's just cherry on top. It makes me incredibly happy. But as long as people have, people are able to find a little bit of value in it, that's what I'm shooting for. I'm making every effort for, again, to be better than that. But at least that. All right. So yeah, and this is what I don't like, because I don't think I'll change it. Let me see how it looks, and if it's good enough, it's good enough. Right? They wanna make, which is fine, right? Like, but this is almost every code. Maybe I should just do a search on Google, see who's playing with matrix arrangements. But the cool effect about this one is that kind of heat rises up and there's some sparkles on the top. The sparkles seem to be working fine, but it's for linear stuff, right? So they say, okay, heat rising up, but heat means, this line right here. And let me change to my main screen, the main display. So it just means using the 2 previous LEDs and to compute what the current LEDs intensity levels are gonna be. So anyway, it'll just look like a linear effect, and because they're all connected in a serpentine fashion, that heat effect will look like this. It'll be more horizontal than vertical. I mean, you do it fast enough, it kind of looks vertical, but maybe, and again, I'm being lazy. I just want to copy paste some cool animations, and I might settle for this one later, but let me do a little bit of digging, see if I can find something cool. All right, Dustin, thank you so much for stopping by, answering some questions, and have a good night, get some rest, and I'll chat, we'll be chatting soon enough. Anyway, they're on one of your streams. I encourage other folks to check out Dustin's wonderful channel on just checking out one of your videos or on our little Discord. Always fun discussions. So have a good night. Probably, yeah. There's some commands that Twitch users are pretty used to. So having like uptime and a bot response for how long the stream has been running. So I need to implement that on the ESP32. Right now, the only one I have is help. And again, one of the ESP32s replies with just a brief description of the commands that, again, it takes a long time right now. It's like, hit my network. But just a message with the structure of the commands to control the LEDs on the screen. So I need to have one for uptime, which is just a typical thing to do on Twitch. I'm learning, every day I learn something new about Twitch. Alrighty, so matrix animation fast LED. Maybe GitHub or something. You see, I want to have something like that. Obviously, I need way more LEDs than just an 8x8, but let's just see what's out there. And obviously, give proper credit, as one should do when using other people's code. But let's search on GitHub. See what's out there. This one seems kind of cool. You can do things like text, scrolling. Oh man, I don't want to do text on the Matrix, particularly on Twitch. That'll require some supervision. Obviously, I can have this, what seems to be an awesome library, and just not enable text. Let's see. The only downside of this one that is no longer maintained. So that was just the first link. Let's see. At least the images would be cool. Like if there's a library with just a bunch of images on Flash, that should be interesting. But if they do exist, they don't have images, which is fine. Many example animations available online, at least most of the ones I found, are not generally useful. Oh, I see. And that's a problem I've seen before. I have a video where I was doing JPEG images that you could drag and drop onto a 16 by 16 matrix, and I committed this error as well. But I was in trying to find examples. It seems that everybody just makes the code for their own size matrices, so it's not portable. Like if you have an 8, right now we have an 8 by 8. If I wanted to port some of that code to a 16 by 16, then there's a lot of rework involved. And I think I contributed to that. I couldn't find anything, and the code that I did write, it only works for 16 by 16. Because I did it both for the 8 by 8 and the 16 by 16. I have a fire animation for the 8 by 8 using that method, and I have a 16 by 16. There were only a handful of modifications, but there needed to be modifications. It wasn't like enter size or define width, define height. So I'd be curious to see what one Robbie and Nichols has done. Oh, they have, that'd be cool. Conway's Game of Life as an animation. Ah, look at that. I like this code. Looks good. So I guess I can just try the whole thing and then just adapt the animations. So thank you, Robbie Nichols. We're gonna put your code to the test. And close this. Wasn't crazy about the matrix animation anyway. And yeah. New sketch. I gotta see the chipset, number of LEDs, etc., etc. All right, data pin. And then I guess a lot of people making this huge matrices, and I think this is what this code is good for. They connect a whole bunch of strips together by hand. Then works the same way, right? Like you just gotta define the little serpentine pattern. Usually people go in a serpentine fashion, like head to tail, etc., etc. Supposed to. You can do it both ways as long as you go D in to D out. Like you can go across like an N type pattern, but they usually align D out of the first one at the same height as D in of the next strip. That's how the matrix is arranged. Hopefully this is how this code works. But it'll be 8 by 8, WS2811, data pin 19. And I think they switch automatically or by button. So there's that. All right, and then I gotta complain that random 16 at entropy. And I know we don't need it, but It'd be nice for a call to random. I mean, I'll see what that's about later. Never use adding. I mean, it'd be kind of cool to just make things a little more random, but should be good enough for now. Hey Nicole, how you doing? Did you get your computer back? And thank you for again following up with that message. Unfortunate that it was a motherboard, but happy to hear that it was a motherboard. Like, if things are gonna go wrong, might as well be stuff that it gets automatically replaced without question. So. We're playing around with different animations for our LEDs and have them, you know, this is my way of procrastinating with polishing the commands for the Twitch interface. So this is a heck of a lot more fun. So it compiles, it's uploaded. I see you haven't received it yet, I guess. Yeah. Motherboard, I mean, they should have it in stock, but still it might take a little while. I see. So forwarded it to an authorized technician to do the repairs. Nice. I think the only thing I've done directly through them is, and I went to the Apple store. It was replacing a battery, and that took just a couple of days, right? Because I'm lucky enough to be in a city where there is an Apple store, and it's not huge, but took it in and it was done either in a couple of days. If I had to go through an authorized place, that probably adds a little bit of time, but I'll be following your saga to a happy conclusion as a fellow Mac user, just to see what it's about, meaning see how long it takes, and just be prepared for if and when the time comes. And so animations seem to be working, although I'm not sure what kind of animation we're seeing right now. It is kind of cool. I like it. And I know we had up top like a way to disable all of them, but just seeing what's available. Switch animation, and then animation. What is animation? Because yeah, I think it is meant to be used with a button to switch across them. So what changes the animation? Probably the function name change animation. Sorry. And then for you, Nickel, and nice 2 year. I think they get away. You know, the European Union, it's a lot more strict on stuff that business can get away with. In the US, a little more lenient. And I think it's only 1 year, but maybe that has changed. But I know, you know, for some of the restrictions that I've seen being imposed in the European Union, the United States is a little bit far behind. And it's kind of funny, right? Because it works both ways, because the United States is not as lax with, you know, some of the tax havens that big companies used to be able to find in the European Union, but you know, they don't allow, you know, Google to get away with nearly as much as they do here, for the way they collect data, with the whole thing with GPRD or whatever the initialism is, right? That started because of the European, you know, stuff that happened in the European Union. So it must be nice, as Joe suggests. But yeah, two-year period is fairly reasonable on both ends. Like if your stuff breaks after 2 years, not necessarily due to misuse, but if you build a product, commercial, that lasts at least 2 years, that's an achievement, right? I feel in the 1 year, that's things should last a little bit longer than that. But now we're in this fast tech, fast fashion kind of world where, you know, you're expected or within brainwashed to some extent to get rid of stuff within, I'm not gonna say a year, but at least a 2-year time span. And some people are different. My wife is the complete opposite. You know, I think for us older millennials, we grew up in a world where our parents, and again, I'm generalizing, it's probably not going to apply to you, but at least in my little bubble where I grew up, a lot of our parents were the kind of people who would just, whenever they would buy something nice, it was with the expectation that it was just going to last a really long time. That association seems to have been lost. And again, it's not me making these observations, right? I'm one of the millions who've noticed. But again, 2 years it's not that long. And again, it used to be the case that certain brands, right? You were buying something that would last you at least 10 years. Like that was the time, like, yeah, I'm gonna spend all this money, but not gonna buy something else until 10 years from now. And that's all but gone, I feel, in this fast tech. And you know, the way cell phones are just a great example. Right now you have this wonderful, I'm not on it, but you have this wonderful plans where it's a subscription model essentially to Apple, right? Or I guess other companies might do it too, but I know of Apple, where you pay a certain amount a month and you can upgrade your phone every time a new one comes out without paying anything else. And, you know, Apple gets their cut, the mobile companies get their cut. So, you know, place blame where blame is due. And yeah, so it's kind of interesting because I've seen that shift, like complete shift throughout my lifetime. It's just an interesting sociological phenomenon. But yeah, you're absolutely right that a lot of people offer, you know, just the 1 year. You can read the reviews on Amazon. It's like, yep. And Amazon does it a little bit differently. Like some of the reviews is like, this broke after X number of months or 1 year plus 3 days or something like that. And some people make stuff up too, so you gotta take everything with a grain of salt. But I believe it. Some of it at least. Oh, nice. A MacBook Air from 2012. Yeah, I have. Is it by chance an 11-inch form factor? Because I still have. I just retired it when I bought this MacBook Pro 2019. And my previous one, I haven't had it since 2011. I think I bought it in 2015. That was a 2011 model. I think it's a 2011 or 2013. I'm always on the cheap side of things, or try to be. And I just bought an older one. But the main reason, that was, I think, the newest one I could get at the time. That was a little bit old. I could pay less, but that was in an 11-inch form factor. I wish Apple would bring back the 11-inch form factor for MacBook Airs, because yeah, it's good enough. It's great. I'm not necessarily huge, but I'm 186 centimeters, 6'1", and 6 feet, 6 foot, 1 inch. And sitting on a plane is a bit of a challenge. You know, plenty of people, particularly in the Netherlands, taller than I am. But, you know, with the 11-inch, I can do a little work and not feel like I have to, like, almost asphyxiate myself with my elbows and stuff like that. So, but anyway, glad you're getting it sorted, honestly. I know how big of a pain it would be, or it is, it has been, to be without a computer. Nice. Appreciate the tip, Joe. For our friend Nickel. All right. Trying to figure out how this thing switches between animations. So in the loop function, and I saw that it was, I don't know, way up there, but it's not super intuitive to me. So obviously this variable is set, and that's what I was looking at before, somewhere. These are all the animations, different ones. I mean, I just want to see all of them, so let me see. Just gonna mess with that variable. I just be lazy and see what the value is of animation and just change it by hand for now. This is how I work. I'm too impatient. Like, I just want to see the animation. They're pretty cool. I think this code will work. I'm happy. So just want to get rid of whatever I don't need and figure out how it switches and then integrate it. So of course, doesn't use serial, so I need to initialize it. This is the first code I've encountered where they're probably not using any serial whatsoever. Communication. All right. Might be related. I don't even know. I never seen this function either. The adding entropy to random, and I know random is pretty bad on just the default one. I think it always uses the same seed. So yes, it will be random, but it always starts at the same value, and it might be the same random sequence every time. So I'm gonna look up that function eventually as well. see where it comes from, because I don't think it's available for the ESP32. It might be like an Arduino, because it's not using any other library. I wouldn't think it's a function included in Fast LED, otherwise it would show up. But it might be an Arduino core library only available for Arduino core boards, the ones that are made by them. So it might have not been ported out just yet to the ESP32. Should be easy enough. Famous last one. Might use like some hardware serial number, or what is it? PRN, pseudo random number generator. Yeah. But anyway, now we should be able to see. So yeah, that animate as expected. It's not changing. So let's see, we have 15 cases, or how many cases? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So animation plus equal 1, and then if animation. All right. Should we be super lazy? Let's see if I can do this as a one-liner. So increase the animation is that equal to 9. If so, yeah, I don't think I can do. Can I do this? I don't think so. I don't remember the syntax of the ternary operator right now, so I won't increase just yet. Or yeah, I will. Otherwise, whatever. Let's see. This will scream, I cannot compile. Yeah. I don't know if I can do equivalencies on a ternary operator. C++. This is me being lazy and spending more time. Whatever. Let me see if it's just missing this before I go and do a Google search. This might look silly, but this is my attempt at solving this on one line, in one line. I think that works. Oh, glad to hear, Nicole. The LEDs are a lot of fun. So glad to hear that us messing around and playing around with a little bit of code, quote unquote, inspire you to get into LEDs, because yeah, it's a lot of fun. And obviously, shoot us over any questions that you may come across. We'll try to be as helpful as we can. But what? So now it's working, but it ain't happy. All right. I think you're supposed, or the code is supposed to switch the animation only when it completes, maybe. Again, I should be looking at the code and exactly how it works, but in typical me fashion, I start treating it like a black box and then just poking with it and seeing the output on the other side, being completely confused, and then half an hour later having to read the actual code and seeing what the heck is going on. But all right, so this one is displaying palette fade case, which looks kind of cool. Let me switch screens. The code will not be that interesting right now. So, all right. If you hate the animation, let me know in the chat, and I won't include it in the ones that will be chat controlled. But if you like it, and the one we were seeing before, the different colors, apparently that's silent. Doesn't look very silent to me. So, but I'll keep it there. Maybe just modify the way it animates it. So palette fade. Looks pretty cool. All right, I like it. If you hate it, let me know, and I'll take it out of the lineup. So Nicole, so if I get this correctly, you've designed a PCB and you're gonna be soldering on the APA's 102s on it? That's, if so, it's a very condemnable. That's not the right word. Recognizable effort. So tip of the hat. Let us know how that goes. Just soldering those little SMD packages. I mean, I've had to do it for many more LEDs that I care to remember. So it's I know, yeah. I have first-hand experience with how that goes. All right, this one is random walk, which I'm not too crazy about. All right, I'll add a note. Nope, that's my note. Full random case, I guarantee I won't like it either. Just for, again, you know, people go on Twitch and they want to see something on the little LEDs. I doubt they're going to want to see a random walk or just all the LEDs. Well, maybe all the LEDs being random. That might be kind of cool, but that looks fairly similar to the palette fade case. So there's that. So full random case doesn't get to go because it's fairly similar to palette fade case for our purposes. This was, you know, a shout out to, once again, Robbie Nichols. Pretty cool. And again, if I wanted to make this animations work with any size matrix, it sounds like I haven't tested it, but it sounds like I just need to change those two numbers for, you know, the number of rows and the number of columns. So shout out to them. All right, it's probably gonna be my favorite one. Conway Game of Life. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, thank you so much for stopping by, Nicole, and you get some rest. Have a good night. Thank you for the kind wishes. What? Conway Game of Life. Ain't working, and I wonder why. Ah, okay. Wonder no more. Enable all the effects so you can actually see them. All right, so should have Conway come up, but do I need to enable something else? All right, that one I'll try to figure out later. Put a question mark. Moving on. Flow through palette. Thankfully, the upload speeds have gotten so much better through the Arduino IDE to non-Arduino boards that, you know, this is doable. It used to be the case that uploading to something like an ESP3266 would take almost a minute. So glad this is the case. It seems that I need to enable all those animations somewhere else because it works until right just prior to Conway Game of Life. Should be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just want to make sure we do a sanity check, make sure that I haven't blown anything. I want to see the LEDs working once again, and if that's the case, I'll go ahead and try to debug the code. Yep, all right, LEDs are working. Why is from animation 4 onward things not working? Setup function. So animate is for called Conway game of life, which is this function. Then life changes, starting palette. Oh, I see. So unfortunately, Conway's game of life is not implemented. I wonder if just the animations after that one are still missing. Flow through palette case, which is fine. Yeah, I believe it is. All right, so those two are not implemented. Center box. That's like good. Center box. Right, I think that one is implemented. And again, this person was trying to make all of these animations work for a whole bunch of different matrix sizes, so that always takes a bunch of time to test. So I commend them for their efforts and completely understand why they kind of walked away from it, as well as didn't finish a few things they meant to. This currently can only do one bug at a time. Would be great for an object-oriented read-write, but I don't feel like doing it right now. Fair enough. So that one is not working either, and full fade. So we gotta see those two. I think full fade was actually working. Oh man. Well, I kind of want to see a lighting bugs. Might write some code myself, but I already have so much on my own plates. So this was 4, 5. We want to see 6, 7, and 8. 6. I think I've missed a bunch of messages on Twitch. My bad. Let me say hello real quick and tell them that we're in the middle of the stream. Just apologizing, sorry, I'm taking over some of the LEDs. I'm doing a stream on YouTube, on YouTube, writing some code for them. And then, just in case they want to hop on over, just paste the link right there. Just saying thanks. Loop control. Glad you like the beats. Alrighty. And then, yeah, if you're Loop Control on Twitch is watching the stream right now, just want to give you a shout out. And again, apologies for taking over. Not only the LEDs, that's probably fine. And I think you said you were playing with a single column one, but then I'm also hijacking the camera, right? The typical camera that I have set up on Twitch is the one that is the main screen on YouTube right now. So that's the reason. Since I'm trying like new code on the Matrix, you know, I wanted folks to see and give me their feedback on what they think it looks like. Although, yeah, it's an LED animation. What can we say? Kind of reaction. So, but that's why I'm using the main camera. As soon as this YouTube stream is over, I'll switch things over and give people on Twitch the ability to just see that main camera. So, as usual, going back and forth at some point, maybe just have. I think, yeah, I'm tempted to buy a PC because the streaming software runs better on a PC. You know, the audio sounds kind of odd when I'm speaking because I have to like apply a bunch of filters and I still need to tweak them. But the reason I'm filtering it so much is because the MacBook Pro fan where I'm running the software is just going crazy. And the streaming software that I'm using, it's a beta version that was released maybe 3 months ago for Mac OS X, because people doing streaming up until this point were for the most part doing it on PCs, right? So there was no interest. And it's a fairly recent thing, right, that all these companies are getting into streaming. So anyhow, I wanted to buy a PC to maybe do some more tutorials on Windows, which is also a demand on the channel, but just running the streaming software there. And if I have two computers, then maybe I can do things that dedicate one to stream for one platform and the other. And I know there are softwares that allow you to multicast, but anyway, I don't need a second PC to do that. I'm just saying when that happens, it'll be a good time to rethink my little setup that I put a lot of like thought into, at least to get to this point. So thank you all for being patient and actually, you know, coming and visiting the streams, which is awesome. Again, as someone who is just getting started and seeing how many great streamers are out there, I'm pretty grateful. And it's a lot of fun. I do it because I enjoy interacting with those of you who stop by and we can chat about electronics, get immediate feedback for me into what I'm doing. So yeah, pretty happy so far. Hey, Nax, aka Loop on Twitch, thank you for stopping by. Yeah, no, I've seen that too, right? Where they use a second PC to just have they'll have a gaming PC and a streaming PC. So I know that's fairly common. And again, it's nothing necessarily that's stopping me from doing things a little bit more efficiently. But so right now, yeah, I just tossed my phone up, hit the Twitch app, and that's the view that you're getting on Twitch. So that's why it's from the side. And again, I could have a better setup, at least to put my phone and have the phone just being front facing the hardware setup. But I'm in the middle of moving out of this place, and when I do move, then I will rethink the whole thing. Maybe at that point also buy the PC and just do it. You know, it was a bit of work. Like at some point I'll do, hey, this is a video of, hey, this is my setup, blah blah. And it's the kind of thing that takes a lot of time, and then you try different things, blah blah, and it's far from perfect, but it requires so much time. It's like, okay, I need to get back to creating content, and I'm just waiting for that next opportunity where I can just pause for a few days actually would take me and rethink things and tune things. So yeah, looking forward to it and glad to see that I'm not crazy by thinking of having a second PC to handle the streaming. Particularly for me, I'm dealing with OS 10. The compatibility with some of the Elgato hardware that I'm using is not great either. So a lot of reasons for having a PC in addition to making hardware tutorials for those of you who use PCs, right? So yeah, I think it's an all-around win for doing it. And then for you, yeah, a cheap PC would do the trick. I'd imagine I don't necessarily want to go high end, but again, dipping my feet into the whole Twitch world, I don't want to have necessarily the latest NVIDIA blah 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 video card, but I want to have something decent so that if I ever do a little bit of gaming, my content will always be this. But if I ever do a little bit of gaming while I'm compiling some code that takes a long time and I'm in the middle of a stream, then I can do that. And yeah, I'm actually using my MacBook Pro to play some games. I don't stream them. I stream them for a test, but not gonna get into that this late in the game. But if I just wanted to do it as a B-roll kind of thing, then perhaps using a decent, waiting and investing on a decent computer might not be too bad of an idea. So, but then you build for your girl a cheap Windows PC, $300, man, yeah, that's a pretty good. And I'll take your word for it that it's a decently performing PC for that price. I think luckily, I can, I've been saving up a bit so I can spend a little more than that, but it's good to know that to have those options, right? And yeah, I would imagine that for gaming, you need even better performance than for streaming. So yeah, good to know that there is just a wide range of options, and you're not gonna get stuck if you go at the low end with something that is barely functional. Oh, Gaetan, hi, and I did not know. Actually, this is why I love streaming, because I find out stuff from people who jump on stream. I didn't know you could run OBS on Raspberry Pi in general. I'd imagine that just regular OBS. I use Streamlabs OBS for whatever it's worth. That regular OBS runs on Raspberry Pi. I didn't know they had an ARM. It takes one Google search, right, to find out. But I didn't know that, that I guess I'm not surprised that OBS has an ARM compatible version. ARM architecture is what I mean. And I know that Raspberry Pi can do some heavy lifting, right? Particularly when you get to the 4 gigabyte or the new 8 gigabyte model. But yeah, I'm still a little bit surprised. I mean, the streaming software it's pretty heavy. So yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for letting me know that that's an option. Oh, I see. Hey, Edrich, the groundskeeper. I don't know. I need to find a better term for that. But that's the one that crossed my mind today of our Twitch channel. I think I've seen you on YouTube before, but I didn't record the username with yourself. So good. The Guardian of the LEDs, nice. I like actually that one better. But a Pixel Haven, soon to be, and it actually has a nice ring to it. You're soon to be the Guardian of Hardware Haven, right? Because right now we're just doing pixels, blah blah blah. When I get to a point that we have a different, piece of hardware each day, so Robot Guardian, oh, LED Guardian. You're already an LED Guardian, but Robot Guardian, and I don't know, whatever else we can think of for connecting to Twitch, you'll be the Guardian of. So, welcome. So Raspberry Pi and OBS. I'll have to give that a try. I probably won't end up using it, but just to know like how it works. I see. It runs, but I'd imagine it's slow. That's what you mean by hazardous. Hey Nayana. And then for you, Dax, you have Streamlabs cuts my messages short, so I switched to the YouTube interface for the chat, which I have here. I couldn't read the last bit of your message, so you have used the command line, ffmpeg, which I'm familiar with, to stream from Raspberry Pi, stream on Twitch, I'd imagine. And the way I see that is using ffmpeg for generating an RTMP stream, and then you use that address and kind of copy it over to your Twitch. I haven't quite done that every time. I do not use my streaming software because I know you can do RTMP and paste a link and add it as an RTMP source, or doing all sorts of fun things. But I just jump on my phone, and which I'm gonna mess up your YouTube feed or your Twitch feed for a little bit. I'll put it back, and then I just jump on the Twitch app on my phone, and that's the simple solution. But putting a Raspberry Pi for, again, if I'm using my main setup for YouTube and I want to have something else and I don't want to use my phone, like I want to have a Twitch stream going simultaneously, I can dedicate a Raspberry Pi 4 for it. That'd be pretty cool. I'll look into it. And as you'll see, like I already did one video on it. I've done 2 videos for using the Intel RealSense camera. So I have a nice, quote unquote, nice webcam that works with Raspberry Pi. So maybe using, and I want to get one of those high quality cameras for Raspberry Pi 2. Does anybody have one? Like on chat right now? I'm dying to get one. I think I can ask one. As you know, I've been doing videos for Element 14 and they provide all the parts for the videos. So when I come up with one of my next videos, obviously it's going to use one of the new cameras so I can get it from them. And they're obviously sold out. So I think they can work the back channels and just get us the hardware we need for the videos. So I definitely want one of those, but in the meantime, I can use the RealSense camera, which is, it's almost a sin to use as a webcam, but it's better than just sitting there not being used. And if you're not familiar, I did a video for how to get started with an Intel RealSense camera, and it's like a Microsoft Kinect. You have a color camera and also a stereoscopic one. That's not quite right. It has an infrared emitter that sends out a pattern and uses a secondary camera to read that pattern and figure out the distance to objects in front of it. So yeah, I'm using this fancy Kinect-like device as a webcam. So again, not the end of the world. I've done already 2 videos with it. I'm doing a 3rd one right now. So I've gotten plenty of views out of it. Cool. Glad to know that you can also do the RTMP for YouTube. So good ideas. And again, I'm a noob, total noob when it comes to streaming. So yeah, any suggestions, I always have it in the description that you have, or just brainstorming, or have you considered this? However you want to phrase that, I'm always curious to learn more. Electronics, streaming, anything, but particularly things that I'm learning about, like streaming right now. I find those pretty interesting. And this is I'm looking at the pattern on this animation, and I think I have what, animation 6, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Really? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is center box. That does not look like center box. That looks like a lighting. And actually for you on screen, it looks a lot smoother. That thing is blinking super fast, but because of the shorter speed, it gets displayed a lot slower than what's actually going on. I only have it, I think, at 30 frames per second. I think that's the best I can do. But yeah, that thing is blinking furiously. All right. Let's do 7. Just the lighting bug. I thought center box didn't work, but I don't know. My bad. It did. Yeah. I think this person, you know, they worked on the first 4 animations, and then the later ones, not as, you know, they ran out of time or whatever, got busy. This will be full fade case. So. I think that's supposed to look like something, but not terribly convinced of it. Man, this ended up being not such a great gallery. And, you know, telling people on Twitch that to be patient, essentially. It is disco time, Edridge. Alrighty. So I'm just looking for fun animations to display on the screen. At least. Let's see. I'm not happy. I'm only happy with palette fade. Seems kind of cool, so I'll use that one. I think this person probably spent all this time figuring out the math to make animations work on a bunch of sizes, and then ran out of time for doing the actual animations. Right, palette fade case. Obviously, the one that works comes from somebody else. So I was creating a function that I called animate, where I just want to do different cases, but right now, yeah, we're just doing this, which is not very useful. So let me change that to palette fade. Palette fade. And then what is this function? Change palette periodically. And then there's a bunch of variables here that I'm going to need. Target palette. Is this a global variable? No. Let's see. Heat colors. Wonder if these are built in. No. None of them are. Or actually, they might be. Alright, well, only one way to find out. Compile and debug. Yep. I thought At least I had declared that. All right. Need one more function. Copy it over. I don't know. Well, whatever. I'm gonna keep searching for different libraries until the end of time if I don't settle for one. Thought this was a little bit better than it actually ended up being. Beggars can be choosers, as they say. I'm doing this because I don't want to write my own, so can't be complaining. I should also, yeah, always forget to check at the top of the repo, see how liked and stuff, how widely used the different libraries are. And again, this is a library on top of another wonderful library, so I'm not complaining about fast LEDs, just people who've created animations on top of it. I think this is the Hackaday.io page of that person working on the animations. Yeah, Robbie Nichols. Yay, we're using your code. And complaining about it out of sheer laziness. Wrong button. Let's see, fast LED Neo Matrix. See what that is all about. Check the top. Okay, so it seems to be considerably more used than the previous one. And I know I looked at some examples of fast LED, and there was some stuff for matrices. Like for the Neo Matrix. Let's see. Can I find it? Multiple. Nope. And then this XY matrix. Alright. Let's see, fast LED Neo matrix. I see, so this one is for connecting multiple matrices together. That's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. Not necessarily what we're looking for. Right. Thought there was. I imagined it. Thought there was a fast LED Neo matrix compatible, compatible script. But see this smart matrix. Yeah, this is again for, I think people just worry about the scaling, let others worry about animating. All right, so let's keep with this one as a starting point. Fill LEDs from palette colors. Just need to copy that function. And I think it's LED num. I guess NeoPixels on this one. And I do have a brightness. Yep. All right. This one should go through. Ah, come on. Frames per second. Do I want it? Yeah, I don't think I want any delays here. Or I guess, yeah, the fast LED delay is not code blocking. I wouldn't think. It's supposed to be just a built-in delay, right? I don't want the code hanging there, blocking everything else. So, just the question is fast LED delay blocking or not? Yes, a lot of people do the frames per second like that. So this person seems to be on my same boat, where they're doing stuff with a WebSocket. They started using some function. I'm going to assume it's the same one I'm looking for. I think their complaint is that it's blocking. Yeah. So they were hoping that fast LED delay would solve it, but it didn't. See if this issue got solved. All right, so the suggestion is to use this every n milliseconds call. Let's try that. But let's see. See that needs to come from the loop. Palette fade. Definitely not here. All right, try it here. 60 milliseconds, palette fade. All right, see how that goes. It compiles. I don't have any leftover undefined code from using that little animation library that I'm trying to implement onto the matrix. And I feel I'm definitely gonna be, well, I say that now, and after I'm done with the stream, I'll probably go on Google and just try to grab an animation from different sources and just add them on here. It takes a while, and not gonna try to reinvent the world. If I come up with a cool animation that I can think of, I'll implement it. But for doing like silent type of thing that's been written so many times that I just need to find a decent example and just tweak it a little bit, have it running. But we'll see. Hopefully this one compiles, we can upload it and give that a try. Yep. Alright. See how that one looked like. And again, I'll need to hop on over to Twitch. It's not Final Cut, but Chrome. And probably I'll go to this person's GitHub, see if they have any cool animations. Yeah. Try to implement them. Alright. Loading. This one is definitely taking quite longer than the previous ones, but not too bad. That's why I didn't use the full script or the full sketch to figure out what was going on with the LEDs. Just save myself a little bit of upload time. Alrighty. And the problem is that I still haven't quite sorted out why it takes a while. If it takes long, I will reset my network, and hopefully that doesn't kill the stream, but it might. So if that happens, I'll try to restart it. If I'm having trouble, then I might just call it a day. For the streaming part, I'll be working on this, and if you hop on Twitch, you'll see the live view of the LED. So I'll definitely be sitting here writing a little bit of code. And all right, so first go on Twitch, try to get that animation, and I believe it should still be matrix and the keyword rainbow. Just that's what I had before, and I just substituted the type of animation that it would be displaying. And again, I ported over some code, so it could be that the animation itself is not working, but if I don't see the message even making it onto the serial monitor, then that means that it's just my, again, I explained this earlier, then just my 2.4 gigahertz network during the day doesn't work quite right due to the number of people on 2.4 gigahertz. I want to just tell my neighbors, hey, I'm sure your router has both bands, so why don't try your faster 5 gigahertz network? Split the load. But then everybody will hop on 5, and you know, oh, there we go. So that wasn't too bad. It was like a 30-second delay. Obviously, I get no animation, but hey, I got a message. So can't really complain all that much. So then, right, what should have happened if that string is equal to rainbow, then we should start animating, but something is buggy with the animation. I need to figure out. Let's see if I can. I'm just gonna try one more message. See if that works. Maybe then take a little bit of a break and come back to it with just a fresh mind. Shortly. This is the first time I tried streaming during the day. Seems like a lot of folks hopped on over. So again, I'm trying to figure out what the best schedule is for chatting with most of you. And I'll probably just, at the end of the day, I'll end up switching it because what's convenient for some, it's inconvenient for others. But happy that I got to chat with a bunch of you today. It seems like on some of the regulars that, I usually stream from around midnight my time to 3 a.m. Those are the starting times, and I seen a few of the regulars. I started a lot earlier today, like maybe 10 hours earlier. There were plenty of people around, so just gives me a little bit more data when folks find this useful. But yeah, I see the message there, and I just need to figure out why that's not triggering the animation. But again, if I just do single LEDs like Edrich was showing us on Twitch, just want to at least leave with the knowledge that things are partially working. And again, this is a work in progress. I can only spend a couple hours on this every so many days. So yeah, it's kind of funny. That one reacts a lot quicker, that LED. So I don't know why. They're both on the same network, and one of them is just immediate. You might not see it on stream just yet, but yeah, that LED on the strip turned on immediately. And I'm sure if I were to look at the serial monitor, it would tell me that that message is received plenty quick. But let's see, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 6 seconds, and I see the LED change again. It might take a little bit longer on your stream to see, but yeah, gotta figure out what's going on with the other one, because say let's do the matrix one. And I'll just do a single pixel. We know that the animation is not quite working, but it doesn't matter. The LED, right? Like not the LED, but the message should come up immediately, but it doesn't. Right, so matrix, XY, to magenta, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I feel I'm gonna be counting here for a while. That's kind of interesting. Both are, again, the same board, running roughly the same code. And one takes, I'm gonna call it a 30-second period for, I guess, yeah. Since these are WebSockets, I can see the messages for the LED strip pop on the serial monitor connected to the ESP, the other ESP32, but still nothing on the matrix. And again, that one should change as soon as the message is received, so I can stare at the LED or stare at my serial monitor. And should be the same, but funny how that works. Might be something on the code because I haven't modified the code only on the LED, so I might be messing with the loop function. And yeah, so you see that the message popped up, the LED changed, but it takes a long time, which makes debugging a little bit annoying. But I might be doing a little bit too much on the loop code, but still, like, to justify that delay is just a little bit nonsensical. So I'm sure I'll figure it out. But I'm gonna take a little bit break from the stream. I'll probably do so this weekend, and again, I'm starting a move, but I'll leave like my gear here and all the streaming stuff, so it's like a partial move for the summer. And yeah, I'll keep you all updated onto what's going on with the streams, what's going on with the video. Again, I'm doing this just for the fun of it. The idea is to integrate it with YouTube. I'll probably do that offline so I can do it quickly, and then when I do the next YouTube stream, you all can control this stuff, not having to switch between Twitch and YouTube. And that's at least the hope. And I'll probably just put together a video, although I'm not sure if I want to make so similar videos back to back. I might, just because again, it's a fun topic, and I think quite a few of you might be interested in doing it. For those of you who are on YouTube anyway, might be interested in doing it on your own channel. So happy to trailblaze the way and figure out how to do it the best way possible. So thank you all who stopped by the stream, either live or a little bit later on, just watching the replay. And I will see you sometime soon for the next one. Thank you all so much.